Girlfriend is really, really stupid. And I love it. Girlfriend is a romance, comedy, and harem airing in the 2021 summer season of anime. At first glance, you might brush the show off as just being another trashy piece of crap that airs on almost every other season. Harem is one of the most saturated genres, and it exists within isekai, action, dramas, other romances. It exists almost anywhere you can look. I'm someone who considers myself to be a big fan of harem. I like shows like Nisekoi, Quintessential Quintuplets, and other harems, but even I can acknowledge that the genre gets pretty stale. Sometimes just seeing the constant loop of the MC being indecisive and falling in love with every other girl and not being able to make a choice of who he's truly in love with gets tiring. So how does Girlfriend, another seasonal trashy harem, set itself apart from other seasonal trashy harems? Well, that's by being an actual harem. As in every single girl wins. If we're to look at the literal textbook definition of what a harem is, it means several women sharing a single lover, whether it be a boyfriend or a husband. Taking that kind of context into mind kind of shows you that other anime that label themselves as harem aren't actually following what the literal definition of what a harem is. The series that label themselves as harem usually are just a multiple women in love with the main character, but the feelings either aren't reciprocated or they aren't committed to. Now obviously I'm just being nitpicky, and I know that the harem label has evolved to cater towards anime more than it has to use the actual textbook definition. But Girlfriend is an example of something that quite literally uses the textbook definition of what a harem is. Something that is kind of unheard of in anime. Right out the gate, from the very first episode, our main character is already in a relationship with his childhood best friend, already defying the trope of the childhood best friend losing. She is the very first character that actually ends up winning. And not even 10 minutes into the episode, and he's already confessed to by another girl. Now logically, the right thing for him to do in this situation would be for him to turn her down. That's what any sane person would do, either in real life or in any other show. But this is Girlfriend we're talking about.
実はさっきこの水瀬さんに告白されて、知れば知るほど魅力的な子で正直惹かれてしまって、これはもう二股するしかないと。
This scene right here is precisely what set Girlfriend apart, and it was all done within the first episode. It's an extremely stupid request made by an extremely stupid character, and it's acknowledged as stupid by the girlfriend and these other characters. And you might think at first glance that these are logical characters, as she's confused as to why he'd make this request. But no. As the series goes on, you find out that almost everybody else in the series is just as illogical as the main character, Naoya. And it's also pretty clear and established in the first episode that you're not supposed to take this seriously. It's an absurd show. To me, it's less of a harem first and foremost and more of a comedy. It wants you to laugh at the show, not be invested in the relationships because they're already all dating. In almost every single scene, the fact that Naoya is two-timing is almost always brought up. And it's always brought up by either one of his two girlfriends or by Naoya himself. The funniest part of the show to me is that Naoya himself is self-aware. Naoya knows that dating two girls is a really shitty thing to do, and he doesn't try to hide that fact. He's just an extremely honest guy. Probably to a fault, but the fact that he was able to pull off dating both Saki and Minase means that it's probably to his benefit, depending on how you look at it. And because of all of this, Girlfriend is a really stupid show. And its stupidity is precisely what I love so much about it. It knows it's stupid, it knows its characters are stupid, it knows the scenarios it creates are stupid, it knows everything going on within the series is stupid. And it doubles down on that fact hard. And calling it stupid might even be an insult, because it dismantles a lot of tropes and subverts a lot of expectations. As I mentioned earlier, the childhood best friend trope is just broken completely within the first 2 minutes of the show. Saki and Naoya are both dating right off the bat. Most harem fans know that the childhood best friend is the person that's almost always gonna lose, regardless of what series they exist in. Looking at you, Nisekoi. It also subverts expectations of the indecisive MC trope. As, sure, he is indecisive, but his indecisiveness is what landed him in the situation. He can't pick between Minase or Saki, so the solution he comes to is to date both of them, rather than date none of them like other harem series would. Hell, Girlfriend is even willing to subvert its own expectations it's set in place. By establishing that Naoya is a two-timer and willing to cheat on his girlfriend with another girl, you'd think that with the introduction of other girls as it is a harem series that he'd be willing to date them right off the bat and just add them to his collection of a harem. But again, this is Girlfriend we're talking about.
まだ会ったばかりですが、真の強さに根気もすごい。何よりこの若さで MeTube で5万登録を成し遂げたミリカさんは魅力的です。いらんこと言うな。ドキッとしてるじゃない。ただそれと付き合うかどうかは別で。
That's right. Even the guy who's two-timing somehow has standards. Instances like this is what makes the show so enjoyable. It's built upon being unpredictable. I'm sure anybody watching this would immediately assume that Naoya would just immediately date Milika because she says she wants to date him. And honestly, I'm glad the show went the route of him rejecting her because that just makes it all the more fun. It would have been the easy route for him to just say yes, and otherwise the show would just become him collecting as many girlfriends as possible. And even though Naoya's a cheater, you can't help but to love the guy. He's so brutally honest it hurts, and while his moral compass might be skewed, he does actually have an explanation for how and why he goes about dating multiple girls. To him, being in love with another girl while dating another is more dishonest and disgenuine than just asking straight up if he could date both of them. And even if he was rejected, he would feel more comfortable with the fact that he didn't have to lie to his girlfriend rather than just being straight up. Of course, there's plenty of other solutions, but he stuck to his guns and went through with the solution, and it worked out for him, and everybody else is okay with this. So, kind of hating on him makes no sense if the other characters in the series are okay with it. Yes, it's a scummy thing to do, but they're okay with the scumminess, and he's a fun, lovable character, so I can't really bring myself to dislike him. He's a breath of fresh air in the sea of dense and dull harem MCs. So all in all, Girlfriend is a really stupid anime, and an even stupider manga, as the anime was so funny that it convinced me to go on and read the series, and I gotta admit, it just got funnier and funnier with every single chapter and the introduction of more elements being added and more bizarre scenarios, such as, manga readers might know, the whole entire Hot Springs getaway trip. So is it the best series ever? No, and it's not trying to be. It's just super dumb fun, and that's all it's set out to be. It wants to make you laugh and make you feel good, and it's some of the most fun I've had in a long time watching anime and reading manga. And it showed me I really need a girlfriend.